Are we ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Yes, I am.
Excellent.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Fernando, you picked a film called Pink Narcissus this week.
I did.
Where did you come across this?
Well, this year, back in February, I was, as usual, reading the New York Times. And the director, James Bidwood, died in January 31st. So the article of his death was published in February. And they, along with the article, they published certain photos of his work. And these were very nice photos, nice pictures.
Yeah.
And they also mentioned that he had directed a movie called Pink Narcissus that at first was not, I guess, very well received, but then as time went by and they discovered the identity of the director, it became more known, and I guess it had some kind of a cult following, I think.
Okay.
And so I was like, well, I must watch this film then. And ever since I've been trying to watch the film, except there's no, I still can't find a legal way to do it. And I also cannot find I now have found a way. I'm not sure what kind of way it was, but I also couldn't find an illegal way to get the movie here in Mexico City. Maybe I should be more literate in those dark fields, black market fields. But I'm glad that I've seen it, I guess.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Good film? Lived up to your expectations?
I just don't know. It was a film, and
it was that.
Is that what it was?
And wow. Has anyone ever heard the Grosse Fugue by Beethoven?
No.
Not that I'd recognise.
I see. Well, maybe after this episode, you can listen to it and see if it reminds you of Pink Narcissus. I just don't know what to think of it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was. I just don't know what it is. I don't know what to think of it.
I think we'll spend some time categorising this film before we really dig into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Certainly unlike anything we've watched before.
Not even Song to Song, because Song to Song had some dialogue.
Yep.
I wonder if this is the first film where basically there is no dialogue. I
don't think we've had a film yet that has no dialogue.
What about Nosferatu? It
Well,
still had dialogue, didn't it? Because they had
dialogue.
cards. No, they did have dialogue. You're right.
What about Kit Bull?
Kit Bull?
Oh, yeah.
Kid Bull, indeed.
Well done.
Yes.
Well, this is the first major film, the first feature film with no...
Feature film.
Was this a feature film? It's an
Why
hour
must
and
you
10
ask
minutes.
difficult questions?
Well, the New York Times also, when it came out, reviewed it, and part of their review was that the film was a passive, tackily decorated surreal fantasy out of that pre-gay activist era when homosexuals hid in closets and read novels about sensitive young men who committed suicide because they could not go on. That's the introductory paragraph. And the end of the article says, "It is sad and very vulnerable, as serious as it is sappy."
That's wonderful. What an excellent. Why are we even meeting? We'll never write anything or say anything as clever as that.
It's probably why people don't listen to us.
I have to say I somewhat disagree. I thought that the opening sentence captured something about the tone of the film, but I don't think I'd describe it as a serious film.
Would you not? I would.
Nor sappy.
Oh, I totally would.
Yeah?
I mean, I've been trying to pin down a word or even a collection of words. There's so many words that you could describe this film with. It's
Go on, give us your top
pouring
5.
with adjectives. Adjective? Yeah.
What 5?
Languid, restless,
Yeah.
languishing, sensitive, gentle. I don't know. I could go on and on and on. Intimate.
Not sure I really got gentle either.
I mean, at times, brutal, aggressive, disgusting, horrible. Yeah. Should we do the whip round?
We could do the whip round.
What
Should
did
we
you
start-
think of it, Michael?
This film had very little going for me. There were... I really struggled through big parts of this film. I did watch it all, but it was not a comfortable or easy watch for me. Laura's often used the phrase, but it's not for us. Maybe it's for a particular kind of audience. And I think it is... it's very clear that I was not the target audience for this film.
Who was the target audience of this film?
Not
I
Michael.
think the target audience is gay men.
What? This film was about gay men?
Yeah.
Someone get the gay gong. What?
Not about gay men.
Gay gong, we're just
For
ring it
gay
from the start. Laura's going to have some weird theory later on about how everyone in it was heterosexual. Yeah, this was a work of gay erotica. I would go so far as to say this was a pornographic movie.
Yes, I would agree with that. Which was I watched this on the train.
Oh no!
And
With the sound on.
oh my god, I can't believe I'm watching this on a train.
Did anyone walk by? It's terrible.
Yeah, literally the conductor, I think, saw the ejaculating penis.
I was quite impressed for quite a long time. I was like, yeah, this is really quite explicit, and yet they haven't shown us any penises yet. And that was like
And
a
then there
third
was
of the way
so
through, and
many
then the rest of
penises.
it was just penises. Yes, it was so explicit, and I thought there wasn't. They did some interesting stuff in terms of the art of it and the feel. They evoked a lot of feelings, but it was. Overall, I think this was, yeah, you had to find, like, I don't know, erotic satisfaction from looking at a bunch of naked men, and that is true for a lot of people, and good luck to them, but unfortunately it's just not doing much for me. And I don't think it had the art and the something else to make that worth watching for me.
I thought it was refreshing. More penises, please.
Okay. Well, so what would be your summary, Laura?
God, I'm like Fernando. I have no idea. I don't know what happened. I don't know what I was watching. I don't know how I feel about it. I think it was interesting. I think it provoked a lot of strange emotions. Couldn't tell you what they were, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was very, very bored for a fair chunk of it. And then other times I was like, wow, this is amazing. This is really... It was so pleasingly pink.
Yeah.
I love
pleasingly pink.
So I loved all the scenes in the pink room.
Claire, what were your thoughts
Well,
overall?
I did not like it. There wasn't really a story or anything to engage with, and then it was just naked men, and I didn't like it. Yeah, that's my position.
Okay. Would you agree with the categorization, like erotica? Is that what this was, or was it something else?
Does that include porn?
Yes.
Yeah. It was a film about sex, wasn't it? It was just getting to look at people being sexually aroused and sexually arousing.
Yeah. And you don't think there was any other major layer to it?
I don't know. I mean, it was all like a dream sequence or something, wasn't it? It was clearly trying to convey something arty, but that was lost on me.
Yeah. And that wasn't just to set the tone for the porn. You think that was a sort of work of art in itself?
Yeah, I think that the dreaminess was the point of it, and then the sexuality was to give that dream context rather than the other way around.
Okay.
For me, that's what I thought anyway.
Yeah.
So I thought it was exploring these fantasies and stuff, and then it just so happened that, it all involved sex because it was a prostitute, so...
Could we summarise it very quickly? Like, how would you summarise it? What would you describe?
Mean summarise the story?
Yeah, if you had to tell someone what it was about.
It was about a guy's fantasies about sex.
So he's a transactional sex worker, right?
Yeah.
And
I didn't get that.
I read that before I saw it, so I had that in mind, that he's a prostitute.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's having these escapist fantasies.
Yeah, that's
which
the impression
put him in
I
different
got.
places, like the Matador and the Roman soldier, and
yeah.
But
it occurred to me that most of the most of the fantasies were revolving around his own satisfaction, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It seemed like he was a buyer of sex rather than a prostitute.
Those were the dreams, though.
Right, so these were the things he was thinking about while he was actually engaging in the other side of it.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, I didn't get that.
What did you think was happening?
I thought he was. I thought he was a young gay man living in 1971 when, as the New York Times says, being gay meant being in the closet for most people, and he was living his life like the guys in Prick Up Your Ears, just going around and having sex with men that he could find in various situations, sometimes in a slightly frightening, slightly sordid sort of way, and other times in a more comfortable sort of way. And he was also desperately in love with himself in a way that seemed to, which I guess is to do with Narcissus. I guess we'll talk about. But he seemed to have a sort of sexual relationship with himself as well as with these other partners. And that's what I say it was. That's what I say the story behind it was. But I do have to say it seemed to me like this was all basically just what's the way to say it? Like a vessel for just like porn scenes, like erotic cinema, basically just designed for stimulation. Was what I thought.
Yeah.
Did I get the story right as far as you're concerned, Laura, or was it? What was different?
No, that's on the money.
Right, but you say he was a prostitute.
Oh yeah, apart from him being a prostitute.
Yeah. Okay.
Did anyone else look up stuff about the film before they watched it, or did you all go into it
Not a thing.
No, you never do. I'm always impressed.
I mean, I read the article.
Oh, of course, yes, you read the article. Mm-hmm.
Oh, in fact, I think I must have seen something on BFI Player about it, but no.
I had no idea what I was getting into.
Oh God, that was very. I cannot do that. I don't know what it is. I'd have needed to turn it off immediately. Just go and read about it. So I watched the trailer and I thought, I'm going to need some context for this, I think. Which I think endeared it to me a bit more because I learned what an important film it was in gay cinema history.
It was it?
Yeah, but apparently I read a few articles now, and I'm sure, I mean, Fernando, you probably read this as well. It was really influential. Mm. Yeah, very influential on a bunch of other stuff. And
yeah, I mean, that's all well and good, but I do think a film should stand on its own merit as well as just the context of it.
Well, it just reminds me of our conversation we had about A Chip and the Sugar versus Lucid.
Yeah.
Which is that if something has achieved something, you know, like it's provoked other things. There's merit in being avant-garde, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah,
testing the boundaries and the water.
Yeah, you're doing something totally new and interesting, which makes it interesting because it's new. I don't know if I necessarily agree with myself on that, but I just think it's...
Do you mean Claire and I are like the jaded art teacher going, this was a boring art experience, you just ruined it. It's like a boring sandwich.
So 1971 was when it was made. Where does that put it in the whole censorship and representing sex in movies and stuff? I don't really know.
I think that's quite far.
I believe I think the only thing that I've read about is that it was not until 1973 that some kind of medical body of professionals removed homosexuality from the mental illnesses. So in 1971, I guess, not being heterosexual was considered a mental illness.
It's wild, isn't it?
The 70s were such a dark time for films. My God. They're all like this. They're all upsetting.
What other 70s films are there?
Watership Down.
Oh.
Shrek.
Let's look it up. Famous stuff. They're all like this. They're all dark and depressing. Vietnam, I suppose.
Bed Knobs and Broomsticks was pretty tough.
Yeah. But they've got a dark edge to them, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I see what you mean.
Midnight Express.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah. The Godfather?
Yeah, it's got its dark side.
Apocalypse Now. Taxi Driver. Yeah. I've never seen that.
Taxi Driver, that's dark.
Is it? Mm.
That's an uncomfortable film to watch.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh, I love that film.
So the 70s, they were a good time. They were a good time for films. Even though they were all extremely dark and upsetting. I don't know if this was dark and upsetting. I think it might have been. I think I was upset. I don't know.
I was definitely uncomfortable.
I'd like someone to tell me how to feel. I'm like, I feel that, Fernando. Like, can someone just explain?
Do you find this a dark film, Fernando?
Did I find it a dark film? No. Or, I mean, some scenes were dark, but in the sense that there was little light. But no, I don't think I would describe this film as dark.
Okay.
I also do not know how I would describe it, but maybe knowing that I would not describe it as dark is a step.
Yeah, that's something. Did you find it interesting, engaging?
I was surprised that it was so long, yet it wasn't long. I think it was an hour and 11 minutes or something like that. And I thought it lasted like 3 hours.
Okay.
Did I find it engaging? At parts, yes. Certain parts were engaging.
Was certain parts boring?
And there were certain parts that I was not understanding what was happening. Yes.
Okay.
I know we've been discussing dark movies in the 70s, but have you all said whether you think this film is dark?
I thought this film was dark in places. I thought some parts were just sort of, I guess, erotic. But I thought some parts, like early on in the sort of dirty public bathrooms, and in the sort of New York sequence near the end where they're all in the street in phone boxes and stuff, it was quite an upsetting and frightening environment, I thought. It felt unsafe.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was capturing something about life as a gay man at the time, or if it was just meant to, I don't know.
I thought maybe that was just New York City back then.
Yeah, I mean, could well be.
By the way, I've also read that most of the film was filmed in James Bidwood's apartment.
Right.
So everything was indoors.
It's quite incredible, actually. Like, it really... I think I read, what did it take him, like 7 years to make or something?
Yes, it was filmed over 7 years. Gay men don't age.
Wow, yeah, that's interesting. God, it's like Boyhood, isn't it? Really, really been on a journey with this man.
Absolutely. So
Don't
he
know where we
started it in
went.
1963.
I guess.
Took him the entire time the Beatles were a band to make this film.
There was such... Your voice was dripping with something, I don't know. It was quite funny. I read that the distributors got fed up of him constantly just editing and just released it without his permission,
Wow.
which he was furious about.
He released it anonymously, right?
Yeah, no bloody wonder.
Is that just because it was so challenging or outrageous, or?
Well, who knows? But I guess the official explanation is that because the film was released without his permission, and apparently a version of the film that he did not particularly like was the one that was released, he decided to not have his name credited.
Wow.
That's fair.
Yeah, curious though.
What were you going to say, Claire?
We were talking about it being a dark film. Michael talked a lot about the sense of danger. And I thought that was supposed to reflect his sort of dangerous living situation. I thought that's why his fantasies they didn't all, but they centred around sort of abuse in a way, and just fearing for your own safety at times. I thought that was part of his personality coming through in those scenes. Not personality, but his situation. But yeah, I think the scenes in the bathroom, those were sort of the real life scenes, weren't they?
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what I got. So many butts.
So many butts. I know, the first time I saw someone in really tight trousers, I was like, oh, that's a bit much. And then,
Oh dear.
I had to reassess what a bit much was.
Yeah. I went through a similar experience.
So
Yeah, me too, I would say, as I looked occasionally out of the train window to give myself a bit of a break. I thought the music was amazing, though. It had really good music.
Yeah.
Was it classical music or was some of it original?
Oh, I don't.
It had it credited to people with the score at the end.
Okay.
Don't know if that means they wrote it.
But Fernando said some of it was Beethoven?
No. I was comparing it to one of Beethoven's works. But no, it definitely wasn't part of the film. Maybe there's a mix of original music and classical music.
Yeah. Wow.
So I had a question about the premise for the film. So it reminded me of My Own Private Idaho in some ways.
Yeah, me too.
And that had a lot about detaching from reality through his falling asleep arbitrarily and stuff. But yeah, sort of, it's not really related to that actually, now that I've said that out loud. So we saw this film as this young guy who was a prostitute, and we saw his fantasies to escape from it, and they were all sexual. And for the sake of this film, would you see the same film with a female prostitute? Would anyone ever make that film?
I think so.
Because I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. I mean, I've never seen anything like this. So.
Yeah. This occurred to me as I was watching it, because I was watching it, I was thinking, why do I hate this so much? And I realised it is because I have no interest in looking at men masturbating. And then I thought, so is this just because I'm not gay? And I tried thinking during each scene from that point, if these were all women, would I find this more appealing? And the answer is obviously yes. But yeah, I mean, there must be similarly artistic straight porn films that would have a similar kind of thing. I get the closest we've maybe watched was Une Femme et une Femme.
Yeah, but I'm more
different.
Thinking about this weird kind of glamorization of his role as a sex worker.
Oh, was it glamorized?
Well, it was shown that even when he escapes, that's the world he escapes into, is one where he's in power. It was usually him exploiting other people.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And then,
the idea... Sorry.
Everything was golden. There was certainly elements of luxury and opulence.
Yeah.
In these fantasies. So whether you translate that as glamorizing it, I don't know. But certainly I don't know, we tend to... I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm still working this out. But yeah, just given how women are portrayed in a similar position, I think it would be very strange if we then imagined them as them fantasizing about sexually exploiting people in their downtime.
Yeah, so if we had a female prostitute, we'd expect their dreams, their escapes to be about getting out of all of this and settling down and having a family. We wouldn't expect their fantasies to be about more sex, but with them as a dominant partner.
And that sounds like an us problem.
Absolutely. But maybe there is a film like that, but yeah.
I was just looking up the article that I first read, and maybe not a film, but your comment, Claire, reminded me of this little paragraph, which I guess he was justifying the kind of pictures that he was taking. He said that the gay pictures at the time were badly lit and uninteresting. He said Playboy had girls in furs, feathers, and lights. They had faces like beautiful angels. I didn't understand why boy pictures weren't like that. So maybe not in film, but something similar would be, I guess, men's magazines. And just by reading this little paragraph, I'm reminded of the event that was previously organized. Maybe it's still organized by Victoria's Secret, where Victoria's Secret's angels are paraded in wings. I'm somehow reminded of that by your comment. I'm not sure if it is somewhat related to what you were saying.
I don't know what that is, the Victoria's Secret.
It's like a runway where women with underwear and wings just walk in the wrong runway.
Oh, okay. Just for fun.
I guess I'm not sure if it's just for fun. They're also advertising new.
It's Victoria's Secret.
Yes,
like they sell underwear, don't they?
Yes.
I see. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, I don't know if it comes back to the idea that women just aren't supposed to enjoy sex, and so if it had been about a woman, the last thing she would be thinking about was having sex, because it's just suffering for her to have sex. Whereas,
you think if someone made that film, it would take that trajectory?
Yeah, that's especially at that time. I feel like
it
would be.
It's odd though, isn't it? Because this only happened. Like I don't feel like. I mean, I think this film is deeply unusual. Like we don't see a lot. I mean, I get I suppose we do. Like men's fantasies take up a lot of cinema, but this is so specifically about like gay male fantasies that it's really, I think it's doing. I'm sure it was quite shocking at the time. I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. This was a highly unusual and provocative film. So we could imagine, if we're imagining that there was something like this with a woman in the centre of it, why couldn't it also be as unusual and provocative as a maybe? But that's I think that's what would have been interesting about this if you imagine this film with a woman as the central character. That would still have been surprising and unusual.
Yeah, it's still a response to like a culturally extremely repressive and of homosexual sexuality. So it wouldn't surprise me if there was a film like this about a woman that focused on female desire and erotica, even if she was a sex worker.
Okay.
But no, I think it's a good point, because I think
next pick
that would be. I'll see what I can find. Pretty Woman, is that?
What
it would be. It would be.
Oh, sorry. Go on.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just going to say it would be a different dynamic somehow.
Yeah, and maybe
I wonder if it would have been as celebrated.
Because
I just wonder. Obviously, like there was a need for something like this. That it was. I don't know. I think it flopped at the time. I don't know, but eventually became kind of a cult following because there was an audience for it. I think your question is interesting, whether people would be as, are women as interested? I don't know. And I'm sure they are, but maybe not in this way. I don't know. Anyway, what were you going to say, Michael?
Well, those were 6 excellent half sentences. I was going to move on a little and say, what did we think of the caterpillar cocoon butterfly thing that was going on? Was he emerging from his cocoon as a butterfly?
This sounds like symbolism to me, Michael.
Have we got the flute?
I certainly do have the flute. Let me just get it.
Oh, I love it more and more every time.
Excellent flute. So he was a butterfly.
Yes.
He was a butterfly?
And he was emerging from his cocoon at the beginning of the film.
Okay.
If you say so.
Well, we saw a butterfly emerging from its cocoon at the beginning of the film, and then the whole thing was about him.
Didn't we see a kind of penis in a cocoon as well?
Did we?
It's
entirely possible.
I didn't know what I was looking at.
Most of the film was penises. In any case, were we meant to think this was his emerging as a gay man who understood who he was and was ready to start having sex with lots of men?
I don't know. I didn't take it that way. I don't think. I thought it was about his potential to be a butterfly. Because when in his apartment, we have a shot of the butterfly encased in glass and dead.
Oh, yeah.
So that's when he's in the apartment. But when he's in the fantasy dream world, the butterfly is alive and and it's floating on his genitals.
Yeah.
So he's imagining, is he the butterfly and now he's free? Is he imagining that, is the butterfly literal? Like there's a dead butterfly in his apartment, so he's imagining that it's alive and has its own freedom and is its own autonomous being?
Yeah.
Probably not. I think he's probably the butterfly and it's probably quite simple. I don't know.
Yeah, is it like he's the butterfly and so he's free and he can fly everywhere, but at the same time he's a butterfly encased in glass?
Yeah.
So even though he's got this freedom, it's still restricted, something like that. And then at the end, we see a caterpillar, don't we? That's the final shot of the film, maybe?
Is it?
Yeah. So. There's a caterpillar crawling around again. I don't know if that was him returning to his cocoon or something.
That's quite nice.
Well, he does crush a butterfly, doesn't he? Is that the butterfly?
Yeah, at one point.
Quite near the end as well. And I just saw the butterfly and then I realised he was also holding his penis in the same hand, and it was a very upsetting moment. That's why it stuck with me. I was like, oh, the butterfly. Oh. Because we get to that final scene through a clever cracked mirror turns into cobweb type thing, don't we?
Good.
So I feel like there's something about nature and returning to nature and his natural state or something. Because it's in these dreams that he's a butterfly and free.
Yeah. That's good. That's very good. The spiderweb crack candle thing threw me.
Yeah.
I mean, it all did, but that particularly, I was like,
that point, everything else you were fine with. But
yeah, the rest was all a symbol for, communism.
Yeah, but who was Jesus?
Yeah. He was Jesus in the end. He did Jesus on the cross. With his penis out. Well, he sort of did a cross. He held his arms up in a sort of very Jesus pose, I thought.
I missed that.
I don't know if that was on purpose.
There was some religious choral singing, wasn't there? They were singing Hallelujah at one point. I don't know. Am I too cynical to say that a lot of this was just kind of nonsense to carry more erotica?
Not at all. I think the director said that his primary aim was aesthetic beauty.
Right.
And literally, to quote him, gay whack-off fantasies.
Right, okay. So maybe if we're looking here for, is he the butterfly? Is the mirror a glass case? Is it just these are striking things to have on film? And it catches the eye and then you enjoy the men doing their things?
It doesn't matter what the director thought, I suppose. He's put these in, let's interpret them, baby.
Yeah, okay.
If it's messages you're after, go to the shops.
Oh dear.
Fernando, when you were watching it, did you think, I wonder what this means?
Yes.
Did you just enjoy the aesthetic?
Well, I did fall in love with the protagonist. I wanted to know his name, except I couldn't find it. Wasn't apparently his pseudonym is Bobby Kendall, except I couldn't find his real name. But apart from falling in love with him, I was not understanding anything. I was like, what is this? What is this? What is this?
Yeah.
And then the film ended, and I still did not know what it was.
I think you've captured something of all of our experiences.
Yeah, I couldn't summarise it better.
Maybe this is just like going through a contemporary art museum, and you're just walking around the aisles, not understanding anything, and that's the point.
Yeah.
I suppose that's consistent with it being about dreams, isn't it? Because dreams don't make any sense. Why should this make sense?
Yeah, the whole thing was like a weird, big, horny dream, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it would have been good to watch in the cinema.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my god.
All I needed was strangers sitting next to me.
Yeah. One of those cinemas at like 2 a.m, lights down low.
In fairness, the lights are low in all cinemas. That's
Yeah,
the
that's
point.
true. There's one of the ones where they don't bring the lights back up at the end.
Oh dear. Yeah, I just think, imagine if you were immersed in it and it was just really assaulting your senses. Because it was a sensory film. It was a sensory experience. It was like Leviathan. How many times do I talk about Leviathan? It really
Quite a lot.
made an impression on me. But yeah, this kind of, it's more about how something feels than what it makes you think.
But maybe
Maybe not what makes you
uncomfortable.
think. Yeah. Feel very unsettled, uncomfortable. Kind of wanted to turn it off.
Yep.
But was sort of entranced? I don't know.
Yeah.
Nope. Yeah, I don't know if I was.
I was desperately making myself watch it so that I would have something to say. I would not have lasted the full hour.
A nice 10 minutes. That would have been nice. No, that would have been too short. Would it? Interesting.
20?
20, maybe half an
20
hour?
minutes. 20 minutes would have been fine.
20 minutes was the first time I checked how far through it was.
Me too!
I
That's
was
how
like,
long-
oh god, I thought I was about halfway.
That's how long our attention span lasts.
I guess so.
That's
My
why
attention span when I'm
Pomodoros are
watching
20
gay porn.
minutes.
Yeah.
I did actually, while we're on symbolism, Googled. I never do this because I don't want to be influenced by other people's thoughts, but I was genuinely curious to know if there was any symbolism before we came in. So I Googled pink Narcissus symbolism. And then I read, the thing that popped up immediately was that the flowers represent femininity and platonic love. But what I didn't realise was that I was just getting some symbols for there's an actual flower called pink Narcissus, and then Google was giving me the symbolism for this. But before I realised that, I was like, femininity and platonic love. Yeah. Okay. That's something.
The opposite of what I just watched. That's interesting.
Well, they got wildly different interpretations from me. That
so
being
yeah,
said,
maybe
I think there was something a bit vaginal about the petals. Also, I think he's the petals. Sorry, go on.
he is the petals.
Well, he's very delicate and translucent and graceful, and he's a waif. And the petals are just drifting around him. I don't know.
Well, maybe now's a good time to address the Narcissus thing.
Oh, right, yes.
Yeah.
Because, he famously fell in love with his own reflection. And I think in all of the scenes, the protagonist is engaged with himself.
Yeah.
In some form.
A lot of time looking at himself in the mirror, right?
Yeah. Presumably the pinkness is because that's a gay colour. It's what gay men like. They like pink. That's how it works, isn't it?
I guess that is how it works. Yeah, okay. So he was in love with it. This made me think of again, Brick Up Your Ears, where there was the scene where they're reading his diary. He talked about standing in front of a full-length mirror and having a lovely, long, slow wink. And are you sure that says wink? No, I'm not sure at all. And I wondered, is this an established thing that there are a number of people who somehow find some satisfaction from looking at themselves? And if so, is that connected to the gay scene in the 70s? Or is this just coincidence that this has come up in two different things?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because as someone who's straight, it's an interesting thought. The idea that that would do very little for me because I'm a man and I'm not interested in looking at men. But if you were gay, is there something in that?
So this is where I feel like a heterosexual making if a heterosexual had made this film, I would say that's them being ignorant and saying, "Oh well, if you're gay, then you must find yourself attractive because that the part of heterosexuality where you don't just fancy everyone of the other gender doesn't really translate for people, and they assume that if you're gay, you fancy everyone of your preferred gender, including yourself." But the fact that these have come from, people who actually are homosexual, then I'm guessing that's not the reason. Don't know. It was a long way of saying I don't know.
Any thoughts from either of you two?
You did confuse me many times when he was playing multiple characters. Was he?
Yeah, he did that a lot.
Yeah, it was an interesting one. Huh. Maybe just one of those things.
I don't know.
Another thing that occurred to me when I was thinking about genders and things like this, if they had made this all about a lesbian, all about a woman, but it was the same kind of thing, I imagine a lot of the audience would be straight men who would find that engaging.
Yes.
Because there's this sort of, I guess, slightly fetishistic thing around straight men being interested in lesbians. But am I right in thinking that doesn't really exist the other way around with straight women and gay men?
Well, women don't like sex, so...
But in reality...
No, not necessarily. I think there's a genre market for that.
Yeah, okay.
It's a thing. It's not... I get, clear mention, it's not spoken of that much. In general, that's the problem with repressing sexuality. It doesn't talk about it that much, but...
So could there be again, in terms of the erotic part of the film, is straight women or a subset of straight women a significant part of an audience that would find this interesting?
Is there an audience that would find this interesting?
Felt like it was mostly aimed at gay men.
Yeah,
I definitely think it was aimed at
because it was speaking about the gay man experience and all of that. But yeah, I just wondered if there was that other side of it, this other group of outsiders who would find this erotically engaging. But I don't know.
What, all heterosexual women?
Any heterosexual women.
Sexuality is complex and fluid.
Yeah,
that's not an answer. You could have said that to anything I'd asked. What would you like for dinner? Heterosexuality is complex and fluid.
There's no such thing as heterosexuality. That's my stance.
Good stuff. Just a thought anyway.
No, it's interesting.
It's a good point. But certainly culturally, women don't talk about their interest in porn.
Okay.
And their preferences, and
so we'd have to do an anonymous survey to figure out who's interested in this.
Pop a poll in the chat. Me and Claire.
Wilf, what do you like to watch? Have you ever seen any of the statistics that get put out by Pornhub?
No.
So there's a website
know they had a research department?
They kind of do. Like that. It's such a big website now that so many people use that they kind of can say quite a lot about what people in different countries are interested in and what people of different age ranges or genders are interested in. It's really bizarre stuff that they things that you would never think, people in that country are really into that thing. That's very surprising. And
can you think of any examples? Because
I can't now. But no, it's a weird thing that you'd think, why are they spending their time collating this and publishing it for people? But it's weirdly interesting, some of these reports that they put out. Yeah.
Cool. I think
so.
I
feel like they would be able to answer questions like mine, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you saying?
Oh, nothing. I just heard once on a podcast, actually the My Dad Wrote Porno podcast, that the UK loves incest porn.
Okay.
We're quite a small island.
How funny. Yeah, it's things like that, though.
Yeah.
How was this related to Mutiny on the Bounty?
Oh, well done. Bloody hell. And who were we all?
Only men were allowed in the ship.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a very male-focused thing, wasn't it?
It's all about gay sex.
Yes. That's any film we've watched with Laura.
Yeah, sorry, that's the easy one, isn't it?
Something to do with exploited people becoming the exploiter. Oh, plants? Yeah, Narcissus, breadfruit.
They all mean something. They all mean something about sex.
Yeah.
I'll die on that hill.
Yeah, we had Captain Bligh's obsession with the breadfruit plants. And in this we had some obsession with
himself.
Narcissus. In fact, it was nothing to do with plants at all, was it?
People trying to come out of the closet.
Yeah, that's it.
Like Bligh trying to get off the boat unconsciously.
Was that him going back into his cocoon at the end?
Maybe it was. God, there's so much to talk about Mutiny on the Bounty. I wish we'd watch that again.
So Laura and I got together for a 2-hour lunch yesterday, and we spent an hour and a half of that talking about Mutiny on the Bounty. There was so much more that we didn't talk about last time. But I think, as we said then, I think we should wrap this up and go now is an important check and balance that stops us from just two of us talking for like 2 hours on the podcast.
You said that. I disagreed. I thought we should have been allowed to continue for as long as it took. 4-hour podcast.
That's basically what happened with the Oscars, which is did not know how long it would take, and we committed to it.
Mm-hmm.
That was really
certainly
good.
Did. Was
Looking
that like
forward to
9
that
hours?
next time. I mean, the final cut of the podcast was 3.5 hours, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we had to cut that down a lot.
I think next time, let's not edit. I was in a mindset that podcasts shouldn't be that long. Oh, that's a fun idea. Wait, they're all live. We're live right now.
Really?
I'm not.
You're listening to us live.
I suppose so.
Wilf.
Yeah. Any other thoughts about Pink Narcissus then? Anything we want to say?
I don't think I liked it. But I think I liked all the words I used to describe it, which made me think that I might have liked it.
So you like films like this, but you didn't like this?
No, God, no. No, I like words.
Claire, did you like it?
No, I hated it.
Fair enough.
Fernando, did you like it? Thumbs up, thumbs down? Maybe it's more complicated than that.
Thumb sideways? I just don't know anything. Well, I'm going to be bold and say that maybe this was not a good film.
Yeah. Could you say why? Because you mostly said sort of positive things.
Why was this not a good film? Why was this not a good film? I mean, it cannot be because I did not understand it, because there are several good things that I did not understand. And
that could contribute to it.
Well, no, I just know that it felt like it was extremely long. Maybe it was not sufficiently engaging. So it was, I guess that probably means that it was kind of boring.
Yeah, I thought it was boring.
Mm-hmm. So maybe boring films are not good.
Yeah.
It's a bold statement.
Okay. Yep, I think I'd say I didn't like it as well. I thought it was, again, I thought there was something very specific it was trying to do, which was to, be an erotic work of art for people who are into that kind of thing. And as it turns out, I'm not into that kind of thing, and that's fine. But no, not very good. Oh well.
I think that's how I feel also.
When did we last all dislike it?
Maybe we should all film our own version of Pink Narcissus.
This would be a good
and make
start
it good.
Yeah. We could start making things really weird, couldn't we?
Where am I going to find that many penises? Thank you for picking it anyway. I thought it was really interesting to think about, and it filled my train time, which was nice. And we don't often watch porn together, so
it's true. This is supposed to be a film club with all kinds of films, and this was a kind of film we haven't watched before. So good call.
Well, I'm glad it contributed to the diversity of films.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's definitely
absolutely.
something I did.
And a nice interruption to just me constantly picking films about straight white men and then calling them all gay. So you prevented me from doing that.
Brilliant.
Shall
I'm ready to finish.
Yeah, shall I play the music?
Great.
Yep.
Lovely.
I think we're all back in the hat.
Ah!
So it could be
Say
anyone.
what?
Do you guys know what you're going to pick if it's you?
No, but
Yes.
I'm excited to panic choose.
Okay. Do you know, Fernando?
Pink Narcissus 2.
Yes, it should
Two
be
pink,
Pink
two
Narcissus too.
Two Narcissus.
Narcissus 2, penis in the city.
Should we do the old pair up and rock paper scissors then? So Claire
That's a
and Fernando
royale.
first.
Okay, yeah, no, fair enough.
3, 2, 1.
Scissors.
Yes.
That's Claire. So me and Laura, can
Hang
someone
on.
count us in?
Wait a minute.
Yeah, you plan.
Okay, I've planned.
3, 2, 1.
Rock. Interesting.
Touche.
You're both out. 3, 2, 1.
Scissors. Damn.
Yeah.
You doubled down. I didn't think you'd double down.
I'm not usually a double downer.
We stared each other down, and you blinked first. I mean, I blinked first. So Claire or Laura,
Now.
Yep.
are you ready?
Yes.
3,
Wait, no,
2,
sorry. I'm just
Oh.
give me a minute. Oh my god, the pressure.
have a think. Your options are paper.
Okay. Yeah, what else do I have?
You've got rock.
Right. Anything else?
And
Anything else
the
in
other
the shop?
one. No, the other one's the sort of advanced one that you only say if you're really skillful.
Okay, £2 for a rock, please.
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready.
3, 2, 1.
Rock.
Paper.
Fuck. God damn it. Very much showed my arse there. That's not the saying, is it? Showed my hand. So I've got bums on the brain.
Showed your ass while waving a sort of matador flag. Claire, have you got a panic decision for us?
I do, and it's only because I currently have it downloaded on my computer. It's
Brilliant.
Le Visiteur.
Okay.
Right.
Which was remade by Hollywood, and I don't think we should watch that version. I don't know when the one I want to watch is made, but it's
1993?
that sounds about right. It's got the guy from Leon the Professional in it.
Ooh.
Nice. And it's a French film,
Yeah, 1993.
1993, and it looks like it has a medieval knight in it.
That's the one.
Great.
Excellent.
Les Visiteurs, 1993.